Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inside Cornerstone, your weekly look at everything going on in the life of Cornerstone First Global Methodist Church here in Alexander City. I'm Brett Pritchard, and that's Pastor Billy Coleman, and we're glad that you've joined us here on the program this week, and always exciting to hear the feedback, Coach, and to talk to the people at church on Sunday that watch our show and then don't actually make fun of us a little bit. So, you know.
Who would that be?
I don't know. Some may, but they don't do that behind our back.
They usually tell me, say, man, I haven't seen Alvin Costello in a long time.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly, too, so I'll put it that way. But, again, we want to thank everybody. We want to thank our sponsors for bringing you the program every week. And, again, we dive into everything going on in the life of this church, and we have so much going on. As we head into the fall season, I know it doesn't feel like it outside. If you're outside, it's in the hundreds. It feels like the heat index, especially this past Friday night at the football games around the state.
A few cramps, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a few. You know,
I thought the game here was pretty good.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
I really was shocked at the amount of cramps, the actual amount of cramps versus what I was expecting.
Oh, me too. I agree totally with that.
I think people in the stands.
I've seen. Yeah. I've seen games like that. Cramps
Right.
started in the first quarter.
Yeah,
if
there's
you're
no
a
doubt,
coach,
no doubt.
believe me, you don't want to see that.
You don't
want
to see guys going down. You know, and the crazy thing about that, and we'll dive into that. We always kind of get off the subject a little bit on sports,
No.
but cramps. There's some guys that when they get a cramp, they're done. They can't get it back out.
Yeah, I get
You know,
that.
they'll try again, but they can't get it out. There's other guys. In 10 minutes, they're batting. They play the rest of the game.
I never could understand that.
It's unbelievable.
That's not me.
Yeah,
I was infamous for cramps.
I think most people are the latter rather than the former. So,
Yes.
But anyway, go to our website, cornerstone-fgmc.org, for the latest and information. You can also follow us out there on social media. We know a lot of you do. The sermons each and every week, the replays are there. They're also live streamed, so you can go watch them live on Sunday if you're not in town, you're not able to attend in person. Both the Green Street service and the Arbor service are both live streamed each and every week, and then they're archived, so you can go back and watch them a little bit later on. That's the birth of this program, Coach. This is why we have Inside Cornerstone, is that we're not taking this time slot here at WAXC TV and not just replaying your messages every week. And
Right.
we're talking about a lot of different things that are going on that we want people to know and be involved with, and just informational all the way around. But we do highlight your services, and we talk about both messages and all. But first of all, I'm going to start this week by saying I looked across the parking lot yesterday when I got to church, and I went, when did they finish the thing? I mean, it's almost like the building's finished. It's like construction on the youth center went from some dirt piled up to now we've got a building, and it's like, wow.
It's just unbelievable day to day. I just look out there and I see what all they've done. They're literally putting the first. It's not the finished ceiling, the roof, but they're putting the first level on the roof now.
It's amazing.
I'd say it's going to be what they call dried in by midweek.
That's amazing. Well, I will say this. They have been fortunate.
It's a good weather, yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to go as far as saying good weather because it's hot. It's real. But construction people, they love being able to work when it's not pouring rain, and you can't really get stuff done. So they have been able to get a lot of things done in the last several weeks because we really haven't had any rain. But I think that's about to change. I think we're about to have some rain move in, so it might slow down some things. But again, to get it to the point where it's almost in the dry before they really had to deal with any kind of bad weather, it's really important. But just kind of remind everybody, I think you said the goal is to be in that building by November
1st. November 1st. That's the goal.
Well, at this
Sometimes you can't reach it.
At this rate, they may be in there next week.
Well,
as fast as they're building it.
Brett, it's just it creates so much enthusiasm.
It really does.
And this show is, and we're so thankful to the sponsors, and for you guys that listen to us, thank you. That's awesome. But I hope that we can generate some kind of enthusiasm or spirit to kind of share with people what's going on at Cornerstone. 'Cause
Right.
this is it's exciting. I mean, it's catchy. You know,
is.
enthusiasm's catchy, and so it's just wonderful to be able to share this with everybody. And I know we goof around and have fun, and we should do that. But underneath all of that, there's a sincere excitement about what we're getting to be a part of.
Yeah, I think so. And again, we talk about our youth on here a lot and how important they are to the life of the church. And you know, they needed a facility, and outside of an arbor,
They did.
And they used the arbor, but a lot of people used the arbor. They needed a facility that was designated their space,
A home.
a home. That's right, and it's so important at that age. I remember growing up in church, and the youth having just a room or a place that they could go that they could call their own, and they're going to have. And I've heard the plans for what's going to go on in that. Inside, man, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great, and there's a lot of benefits for a lot of people. The youth are going to have that home you're talking about, but then the children are going to be able to have more access to the arbor.
Right.
And we have a Jacob's Ladder with about 130 kids in it. And I go and talk to them. I walked through the lunchroom today, and hey, Mr. Bill, hey, and I'm cutting. Hey, y'all, how you doing? And every teacher just looking at me like, would you get out of here?
You just disrupted.
Yeah, I got the whole group. They're just wanting to be on a mutiny. But there's a lot of kids, and we love it. We do a children's minute now at Green Street. Green Street, your traditional service.
Right.
And immediately after the first time we did it, I think everybody in the congregation said, I am so glad that we're doing a children's minute. And the first thing you hear is, well, there's no children that go to the tradition. Oh, yeah? There is children that go. We've had children at every Green Street service so far. Right. Not as many, of course, as the arbor, but we are committed to our children all the way up. And we talked about this a few weeks ago. You're going to like this. I talked to David Hand today, just kind of finding out where we're going and stuff. And he is totally committed to a college program. Wow. He's already got his plans for it. He's got ideas about how we're going to institute it. And so I'm going to start with college and say college all the way down to infants. I mean, hey, if you want to have your baby baptized, bring it to Cornerstone.
Come on.
Half the time I'm nervous because I'm walking around with somebody's treasure.
No doubt.
But isn't that exciting?
It is exciting. I did want to kind of, in this first segment, talk about where we are attendance-wise. You and I were just talking about what a great crowd was at both services yesterday. But the church is growing. You can definitely tell. And you say this almost every Sunday. Cornerstone is alive. It is alive, and you can feel the energy in the buildings, and it's the people. It's not the brick and mortar.
Spirit, right.
It's not the brick and mortar. It's the people,
no.
And like you said, the Holy Spirit that drives that energy.
Right.
And just we talked about Feast of Sharing yesterday in our Sunday school class, and trying to add more teams to the rotation. That way, people aren't coming around as often. But there's really a lot. I know we get on here and we really have about 40 minutes of actual you and I talking about things.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure we highlight our sponsors and all with the other 20 minutes. But there's so much that is going on in this church that we can't get to all of it every week. And especially when we kind of have everything segmented the way we have it segmented, there's no way to get to all of it. I mean, I just brought up 3 things basically that we could dive into themselves, and it would eat a whole show up. So we try to do the best we can to try to give you a complete, a big picture of it.
Right.
That's why we encourage you to go to the website. We encourage you to look on Facebook, and there's a lot of different areas of the church that need help. I mean, we just an update that a lot of people don't know about, that maybe just go to the arbor that never come to Green Street. They knocked a wall out of one of those of those offices, and now
it was packed. Did you see it?
Well, you stopped me. Yeah, said, look in here.
Look inside.
Right.
50 people were in a Sunday school room.
And
we knocked the wall out.
Well, and I was going to tell you, our Sunday school class upstairs we didn't have enough seats.
That's
We
awesome.
probably
Thanks for telling me.
we've pushed our way out of that classroom, which we're gonna ask about moving to another location too. But again, and we had some new people in our Sunday school class. You know, also in addition, it's like I told you back in the summer, you have some that would come and others that would come, and everybody's taking vacations at different times because
Right.
it's really the only small window of time you have to kind of go and do things. So
Yeah, sure.
But
Sure, I understand that.
when school starts back, everybody's back. So everybody was back in the classroom basically. We still had some that weren't there that were on trips. But if we had everybody in our class, we would probably be pushing 50.
Well, praise the Lord.
Right.
What a great. We'll deal with those problems.
Well, yeah.
I don't know how, but we'll figure it out.
We'll just keep knocking walls out.
Well, there's another. You're just actually talking about another advantage of the new youth center,
Right.
And the
more
flexibility. It's going to
space.
give more flexibility to the church for things, and using that multi-purposefully instead of just for the teenagers. They're going to have their own place, and hey, that's great. We're just trying to figure out the chairs right now.
Right.
We're going to remove part of our stuff. We've got some thoughts on it, but doing a third service is a challenge because we're so into small groups and Sunday school.
I understand that.
It's just hard to incorporate that when you've got another service going on, but we've got a plan.
There's only so much time.
I think we've got a good
Yeah.
plan for now.
Well,
anyway.
we're going to take a break. We come back. I do want to talk some more about this, and then obviously we'll dive into your messages and some other updates and things that we've got coming in. Got a guest pastor coming in next
FCA
Sunday.
guy,
Yeah, so we're going to
the
talk.
big
We
one.
just got
Yeah.
a lot to talk about. And we're going to get to it. Stay tuned. More Inside Cornerstone coming your way right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
As your State Farm team, we will be there for you with the financial strength to deliver on our promises. Service that's a sure thing. You can think of us as your good neighbors who help protect what's important to you. We're here when you need us the most. You can call us 24/7 to get answers to your questions, file a claim, or see if we can find you more ways to save. We have many coverages and many discounts. We can help protect more areas of your life and find every discount you qualify for along the way. Please call us or visit 2048 Cherokee Road for coverage you can count on.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Cornerstone. And, Coach, as we went to break, we were talking about the attendance and the growth of the church. And, a lot of people don't realize we're working on something that we were hoping that we would be able to make an announcement by now on, but we're still working, so it's not – that's coming later. It's going to be really positive news when we're able to announce it. But working on something, and in that project that we're working on, we had to let this group know about our our facilities, and basically, you know, they were asking us questions, and they didn't realize how big our campus was, because the groups they deal with, maybe an office space or something. And when we started naming off multiple buildings, they were like, oh. I mean, and maybe, you know, that was partly our issue that we didn't let them know. But
it's a campus.
But it's a campus, and now you're adding an entire new facility. And like you said, even with all these different buildings and areas, we're having people that don't have a place to meet. I mean, if you look at upstairs in the Arbor, I mean, there's numerous classrooms upstairs, and most all of them are occupied. And then select amount of rooms scattered throughout the main sanctuary church over there, and you're running out of room there, to the point where you knock a wall out of an office to expand. That's you don't have to tell somebody your church is growing, or you don't have to tell somebody good things are going on. Just walk around and look at all the change. And, you know, in education, and if you look at a college campus, and a lot of times that's a benchmark. How do you know something's really happening and going on? You see construction going on. You see something that's constantly moving.
It goes with the territory.
It does. And so it reminded me Sunday, as we were walking across from the Arbor to the main campus, to see the building going up, and then to go into the building and know that you've knocked a wall out here, and we still have people that are needing space. And then we go upstairs, and we've got 40 in our class, and we're needing to get out. And so that's, like you said, I don't want to label it problems, but it's hurdles, I guess. Those are hurdles you want to have.
They are. And you're not going to greatly outgrow your facilities. At some point, you will stop growing. Right. So we're trying to do the things we need to do to accommodate that. That's great. We love that problem. We hope that problem, but we've also got to prepare ourselves to deal with it, and I think we are. I think the youth center is one way. I think knocking that wall out is another way. Making some changes in the seating at the Arbor is another way. I mean, we want people to know we're working on that. We're going to accommodate that.
Is there a committee for that? Again, this is a show that we want to try to, even our members that might not be involved in all the different committees, is there a committee for that in planning?
To not per se, but to an extent, I think all the committees, I go to every committee meeting, and I let them know.
And we have a lot of committees, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm in education, so don't tell me about committees. But when I do go, I explain that to them. We talked a bit about this, Brett, and I don't want to talk about it a long time, but before we got to this particular point we're at now, we sat down and talked, and we said, now, we may not ever need it, but what are we going to do if we discuss a third service? How's that going to look? I just told you a while ago that none of those scenarios we liked. Right. So that means we did talk about it. So we looked at 10 different times.
Well, where would you?
You go, well, here's what we did. We went to the Arbor, and we looked at some things and saw some things that we could do. You know that little stage that sticks out in front of the Arbor? I jump off it, and everybody goes like that, and then they breathe out and stuff like that. Well, if we take that off and move our altar back, we think we can put 150 seats in the Arbor, just like we're doing it. Then everybody gets to go to Sunday school. Now,
you're saying 150 more?
More, yes. Additional.
Wow.
So now what happens if we outgrow that? Then we've got to look at something different. I mean, I don't want to say this is probably not going to happen, but you've got an empty sanctuary over there at 9 o'clock.
Right.
While we're but Brett, you've got to look at the service and accommodate the people that are coming to the Arbor with the Arbor style of worship. And then we've got Green Street is growing like crazy.
It is.
But you've got to keep Green Street exactly where it is because I mean, hey, it's the only tradition. It's one of a few traditional services in Alexander City.
It is.
And
I
it
know.
can seat some more people.
Right.
But we've gone 4 times over what we were a year ago in numbers at Green Street. So, I mean,
Already.
it's growing
Already,
too.
so-
And the choir, there are 29 people at the choir, in the
Well,
choir Sunday.
You showed the video this past Sunday at the Arbor. The informational video had some of our members on there talking about
Did you
some
see
of the-
that?
Yeah, and
we
you know,
showed it on here. Yeah.
Right, yeah. When it popped up the first time, I thought I saw the set and I went, "Whoa, what is that?" Are they about to show?
That's Cornerstone.
Yeah, it's about to say, yeah, but it was
Inside
the
Cornerstone.
promotional video, and so
was.
and that was shown at the conference a few weeks ago, and so that's really kind of a spinoff of what we're doing here on a weekly basis, is to let people know how, again, when you're in the middle of an organization or you're involved, you kind of get, I don't want to say you kind of get in a silo. That's what the term we used in education
Right.
in college. We kind of operate in silos. We know we're part of a big organization, but everybody's got their comfort zone. Because let's just be honest, we're getting to the point where I see people when we cross over, I didn't know they went to our church because they get there at maybe
Yeah,
10
I see
o'clock.
that, yeah.
They go to Sunday school, then they go to
Green Street.
Green Street, and then maybe they didn't know I show up at 9, go to Sunday school at 10, and we may never cross paths together,
right.
but we're all part of the same church.
That's
and I
exactly
think
right.
that's part of one of the big reasons that we created the unity events. That's why we've got the Wednesday night supper
I
again.
think it is. I
You know,
think it's the same reason.
it is, and
Yeah.
it's not a fault of anybody's,
No.
but again, I think it's important that this show and updates like the video and all that are out there
Mm-hmm.
because I may not know what this group is doing over here.
Mm-hmm.
And, our group over here may be discussing, well, why haven't we done this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's being done. We just didn't know about it because they're in their world, we're in ours. It's
That
not,
happens.
It's not
Yeah, you
intentional.
can't help it.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. But
Well, one thing we need to do, I guess it's a heat timeout right here halfway through
There
the
we go.
second
There we
quarter.
go.
None of this surpasses what I'm fixing to say. Glorify Jesus Christ. That's number one. I mean, all the other stuff, the reason we're talking about that, but it's all about putting Christ first,
Right.
keeping our focus on Him. And Christ commands us to share our testimony. We're for every church in this community, every church.
We've
We
said
want
that-
them all to
well, we've
boom.
said that since day one.
We do. But we're sharing our testimony of what God is doing in our church. God gets all the glory for it. And so I want to make sure, and a lot of that falls on my shoulders. I need to make sure that that's what we're focusing on. And we are. That is what we're focusing on.
Right.
But all this other stuff is just our way of trying to show God how thankful we are for His Spirit that He's given to us.
Well,
And,
I think you just summed it up. I mean, he's the centerpiece of what
absolutely,
we're discussing.
He has to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But a good thing is going back to the global church and the conference that you just attended, and the issue continues to be with our church, not our church in Alexander City, but the Global Methodist Church, is we have not enough pastors, and we got more churches now, but there are communities that didn't get a chance to form their own church during a discernment or whatever process that, we went through a split, so it was a little bit different. So they had to find a place.
Right.
And obviously, we've had a lot of people come to us from
Sure.
other communities and continue to come to us.
Right.
That was one of the topics in the video. And,
Right.
and again, that's not going to stop happening. That I only foresee that continuing to grow from that standpoint.
I think if we do things the right way, I agree totally with you. If we keep our focus where it needs. Now, there's a reason why they're coming.
There is.
So we better make sure that we
Well-
keep what's causing that to happen to keep going, and it is our focus on God and the Word of God, and God is showing up. The Spirit's just, you can feel it. That's
Right.
not me talking.
Right.
I hear all kind of people say,
Well, it's kinda-
I just feel, I feel it. You know?
Well, going back to the schedule, we have a 9 o'clock service, and then we have a 10 o'clock hour for, small group Sunday school, and then the 11 o'clock hour is the traditional service. Going back to where would you add a third? So I think that's the smart thing. You could bump one up. I guess you could do one real early. You could start one at 7 or 6:30 or whatever. But then, you literally
got to provide Sunday school for them.
That's right. You could,
Right.
Yeah, because if they come to church at 6:30 and they get out at 7:30, well, they're probably not going to hang around till 10 o'clock for Sunday school hour.
We are so committed to the young people and small groups, and Brett, that's where you get to know people.
Absolutely.
You form
right.
relationships and stuff like that. So we're so committed to that we just don't want to compromise that.
Right.
There's probably a way, but right now, I think that we can deal with it but we got to keep talking about it. There's no doubt. There's churches that have 10 services out there.
I
You
know
that.
it. And
Yeah.
the thing is that as we grow, and as
Facilities,
you
grow.
don't know what the future brings.
Yeah.
It may be one of the biggest options for us in the future. Maybe not right now, but as we continue to look. But you and I are just looking at it from a perspective of what we've done in the last several months and seen with our own eyes during a time that's typically a little bit more. I don't want to use dormant, but I mean a little bit less attended during the summer months than you do in your business. And so we've even seen really good crowds during those times.
Picture this is way out there. It may not ever happen. We take the youth center, and at the same time as the Arbor service, we have a teenage-oriented service identical to what we're having in the Arbor.
But they can go in
and
there.
that creates space in the Arbor and
Right.
gives us another opportunity at the same time. So now you still got Sunday school.
Lots of options out there. That's a good thing. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Inside Cornerstone right after this.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
As your State Farm team, we will be there for you with the financial strength to deliver on our promises. Service, that's a sure thing. You can think of us as your good neighbors who help protect what's important to you. We're here when you need us the most. You can call us 24/7 to get answers to your questions, file a claim, or see if we can find you more ways to save. We have many coverages and many discounts. We can help protect more areas of your life and find every discount you qualify for along the way. Please call us or visit 2048 Cherokee Road for coverage you can count on.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30 plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy. Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Cornerstone. Again, good conversation, Coach. I think just informing everybody. We want to do this from time to time just to let everybody know what the structure is of maybe our weekly routine. And, hey, look, to add into this, because we got a lot to still get to, Wednesday night dinner is going really well.
It is.
And, again, the General's providing the food, General's Cafe, doing a great job. And that's another opportunity for people to get together and fellowship on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And then after the meal, there's several small groups that
Three Bible studies.
So there's three.
And,
I knew there were several. So.
Children's choir and youth choir and several other youth activities. I mean, there's a lot to do afterwards. Some stay, and some just love that fellowship. You know,
it's just exciting to. And again, we're getting back to some things that we had gotten away from that I'm excited about. That brings basically every corner of the church together. I think again, it's the way it's structured. It has to be structured that way because you're trying to make sure everybody has different options and different times and things. But again, you have members that you don't really come in contact with other than maybe unity events. And that's a great opportunity, a great time to do that. Hey, now look, I'm always for if you're a staunch Arbor attender, hey, go to the traditional every once in a while, and vice versa. The traditional come over to the Arbor. I mean,
that's happening some.
That's good.
I do. This is hard to believe, and I'll admit there's not a ton of people that do it, but I do separate messages for the two services. There are some, believe it or not, you're already laughing. There are some that come to both of them to hear the choir, by the way. But and that's neat. They like that, and
well, I grew up a lot of us did. There wasn't a contemporary service when we were growing up. So there's something about those songs that you sing in the hymnal, and it brings back memories with my grandmother and being in church, and even my great grandmother up in Eagle Creek, and just growing up with that part of you that sometimes you just yearn for that. And Coach, this coming Sunday, you will not be on campus. You will be speaking and preaching a sermon somewhere else.
That's right. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It's called Worship on the Water, on Harris Lake. It's sponsored by CFAT, which they train and send people all over the world to do God's work. You just can't imagine those kind of people. Right. They're just great. And Brett, it's so interesting. I stand this far from the lake, and you know me. Sometimes my toes hang over toward the lake. So you've got enough bleachers and chairs for, I'm going to say, 150 people probably. Right. Then all these pontoon boats, and sometimes there might be 30 of them, and one will tie to a pier, and then they will tie themselves together. Each other. Right. And the guy on the end, see, they're kind of floating out away. Right, so the guy on the end will just crank up. He'll pull the whole line and put it back in line. They bring their dogs and their cats. In fact, I call them the boat people, and I always say hello to all the dogs and cats out there. And sometimes if I say something really strong, you'll get a out there, praise the Lord type thing. Right. And then we laugh and we cut up and have great worship and Clear Vision, which is a fantastic men's quartet gospel. They come and share, and through the years, we're just like us. Right. We're the same way out there. We laugh and cut up and kid each other. There's on a good day, when it's not raining and stuff, there'll be 350, 400 people that's there. Awesome. And so while I'm there, right, and I'm never usually miss a day of work, but when I'm there, I got Cole Limbaugh, who is the East Alabama leader of Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He started in this area. You know,
He
I'm
did.
chairman of the FCA
Right.
board, and Cole is over our FCA in this area, but it goes all the way up into the Anniston area, really over to the state line. He's going to be coming doing both services. And Cole is a fine young man and great Christian and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I talk about it so much that people will come up after the service when I mention it and say, "Oh, do we have an FCA at our school?" And I say, "Oh, yes, ma'am, you absolutely do," or "Yes, sir." The parents don't really know, maybe, but FCA tries to get out into all our schools and bring Jesus Christ, and they can do that
Right.
better and easier. I'm speaking to the football team.
I know you were supposed to speak last week.
Tuesday
and
night,
then you
yeah.
come into the quarterback club
And you
tomorrow.
can bet I'm going to be mentioning FCA. So all of that is going to be neat. I hate to be gone, but Cole, oh, man, everybody's going to love him.
Hey, I've obviously met him several times.
He's
Been part
great.
of several events through FCA and, you know, some at the college here in town. And, you know, he does. He's the representative you want out there.
Oh, my
You know, if you have,
goodness, yes.
again, it's a great opportunity to come hear Cole
Yeah.
talk this coming Sunday. And he's going to do both services, like you said.
Let's remind everybody of something I'm sure we said before. Everybody in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has to earn their own salary. There's no such thing as FCA dues that pay for all of this. They have to go out and fundraise their salary and their ministry. All of it, even the state director has to do it. So it reminds you a little bit about what we talk about the global church
does.
out there kind of earning their own money, but that's what FCA does. Now, Legacy Builders, everybody I guess has heard of that, in October, that's FCA month.
Right.
And so we not only do we contribute to that, we try to find people in the community that want to. Everything goes to FCA. And last October, we raised over $13,000, gave it to Cole for his ministry.
Wow.
So that's something else. They all have to do, and that's why
Right.
so many. You got to. It's kind of like the rich young ruler. You know, he walked away.
He did. He
Some
did.
some people can't make that kind of commitment. They've got
up your
a
cross
wife and
I
two
know.
kids,
Take
and
up
they're
your
having
cross.
a raise.
That's hard.
fundraise.
It's hard. It's I'm not going to steal your thunder. Almost impossible.
Yeah,
In a lot of,
but all things are.
Yeah, all things. That's exactly right. No doubt. I just kind of give you a little
That's
sneak peek. out
thank
there.
you.
But Cole, again, it is so. I guess you kind of get in awe of people that do the work that he does.
He's a
And, like,
missionary.
well, he is, and again, you can tell that God has called them
Oh, yes.
to be in the position they're in. And look, being involved in FCA events and being involved with athletics, and it is such a, I'm going to say, a lot of times the first exposure for some of those kids
Oh, yes.
to Christ.
Exactly.
And, you know, I know how many kids have been saved through the program. You know, that's another thing that, again, maybe they didn't grow up in a house that attended church or they didn't have a way to get there or whatever. And they get their first exposure and they're, again, that saved their life. And there's been so many testimonies that have come back. And we've had several guest speakers when we were at the college that told that exact story, you know, and I know Saran Stacy's come and former player for Alabama that spoke. And, you know, we've had former Auburn football players speak, and we've even had them come and talk. It's not FCA, but like with our Project 412 and different things. And they come and they tell their story about how they found Jesus. And usually it's through a program like FCA, or it's some type of
Absolutely.
event that they went to and attended. It wasn't in a church service. It was something that was outside. It was maybe a basketball league. Maybe it was a church league basketball league that a friend invited them to, and then they heard, you know, maybe some type of scripture or whatever after the game, and that you never know. And so all of these organizations are so important. But I'm with you. I watch how many young men and women are affected in a positive manner by FCA, and what a great organization it is.
I tell you, Brett, it's hard for me to talk about this when I get emotional, but I'm not going to embarrass you or anything. But I just wish that everybody could just be a fly on the wall in a football dressing room. Right before you go out to play. We live in the state of Alabama.
Right.
Do we have to convince anybody that we go nuts over sports in this state? So there, and the coach is up there talking to these kids about Jesus Christ and a devotional before they go out. To see those kids, those young men looking at you, their eyes, their focus, and I promise you, whatever you're saying is going right into their soul.
It's soaking.
It's in their heart. They never forget it.
They soak it right in.
They'll come back 25 years later and say, hey, Coach, I remember that. You remember that game? You know, and we had that. I mean, it's unbelievable the opportunity that we have to reach into young people's lives through sports.
You know, and I know Wayne Dickens was part of that.
Oh, sure.
And, you know, Wayne was a former player at
Mike
Auburn.
Colin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so
Pat
many.
Sullivan.
Yeah, absolutely. So many that have been involved in the past and have expanded. But, yeah, FCA, I know it's always a work in progress. And like you said, they have to go out and fundraise. But I've never seen anybody that I've basically been in contact with about an FCA event that people go, man, I'm all in on that.
Class.
I mean, they just FCA has that reputation.
They do.
It just
Absolutely.
has such a strong reputation.
You mess up, if you are from FCA and you mess up, there are consequences.
Yeah, you're out.
No doubt.
So,
yeah.
Up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
As your State Farm team, we will be there for you with the financial strength to deliver on our promises. Service that's a sure thing. You can think of us as your good neighbors who help protect what's important to you. We're here when you need us the most. You can call us 24/7 to get answers to your questions, file a claim, or see if we can find you more ways to save. We have many coverages and many discounts. We can help protect more areas of your life and find every discount you qualify for along the way. Please call us or visit 2048 Cherokee Road for coverage you can count on.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
I was going to come into this segment with the Mission Impossible theme. We might still be able to work that in there. We might get Kane to throw that over the top of it. So you're doing a pretty good job of it.
No, I'm letting you talk over the music.
That just adds to the suspense, doesn't it? Adds to the suspense. But anyway, your messages were about Mission Impossible, but not Mission Impossible. but the possible part
When
of
the mission
everything
is
through-
possible.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna let you talk about that, but I do want to remind everybody that again, this is Labor Day weekend coming up this coming weekend. So as Coach said, he will be at Worship on the Water up in Wedowee, and again, I know you would encourage if people want to come up to be part of that.
I had a couple. Okay, Brett, you're ready to laugh. You didn't think this would ever come up. I talked to some people from Matthew's church, and she was saying, you know, I usually go up to that Worship on the Water, and I said, she found out I was speaking there. I said, well, make sure you go tell Matthew you won't be at church Sunday because Billy Coleman's up there at Worship on the Water, and he does a better sermon.
I would love to see
he
that.
does a better sermon than you.
I'd love to see the facial expression. He'd have something real.
I got to pick at Matthew, but now he got where he'll throw it back at you.
I was
going
to say he's going to come back with something real cunning.
Well,
He's
wouldn't
real-
you at me?
Oh,
I mean,
no
I'm
doubt.
a pretty
He's
easy
always
pickings.
going to come back with a shot. So, but
wow.
anyway, again, if you'd like to attend that, I know you would love to see people there. In addition to the
sure.
people that are planning,
Absolutely.
but Cole Limbaugh will be at both services here at Cornerstone this coming Sunday. But we do want to, it's kind of like the official end of summer is Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, right.
Everybody kind of flips the page, and it's football season. I know the weather doesn't feel like it yet, but it's really
Not yet.
the fall season kind of starts. So
Yeah.
well, we do want to encourage everybody. It's a big weekend on all the lakes. So if you're planning to, but obviously you're off on Monday and you want to spend that time on the water, just be careful. But also, I wanted to add one other thing before we talk about your services this past Sunday. If you've never been to a church service on a body of water like Lake Martin or Lake Wedowee or wherever it is that man, it's pretty
neat.
It really is, man. The Lake Martin's got several places that Church of the Living Waters and Stillwater's, Church in the Pines down at Collides, and there's other places, but. To be there early, to kind of be there experiencing, worship while you're looking out on a body of water and kind of putting yourself in that mindset, it really is inspirational.
Totally non-denominational.
It is completely.
That's one of the beautiful things about it.
That's right. Yeah. You're just there for Jesus and not a religion.
That's right.
All right, Coach. Let's talk about your theme song, Mission Impossible. What led you to talk about that?
Well, first off, from 1966 to 73, I did not miss a Mission Impossible show. I loved it. It was fantastic. I guess if you watched it now, you'd say it was corny. But not to me. It's a lot better. All you Tom Cruise fans, I'm sorry. It's better than the movies. There's no doubt about it. I loved it.
Have you seen the Mission Impossible movie?
Yes, I have.
The movies? You've
Yes,
seen
I
them?
certainly
Okay.
have.
Okay.
And you take out all the graphics and all that fascinating stuff
You know he
and
does
get
his
down
own
to the
stunts, by the way.
actual plot. Well, I know
Right.
he does. That's right.
That's crazy, though, right? That's a
Well,
little.
Yes.
Most of those actors don't do their own.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
Well, we
I
kinda got
like it.
also-
I love it. Well, a group of guys set out to do something that is basically impossible to do, and they do it. We took off on that a little bit. We actually used the scripture as a rich young ruler walks away. Jesus looks at the disciples and says, it's impossible for a rich man to get to heaven. But with God, all things are possible.
Right.
So we start off that man has gotten to the point, I don't know if you agreed with this or not, but we pretty much think we can do anything now. I mean, some of the inventions that we've come up with, and I got to admit, I would never have thought that I can go out to our little old farm in Clay County and take my phone and call Switzerland if I want to and talk to somebody. I mean, I don't get that. I don't understand it. We have done put
We've
people
made a
on
lot
the
of
moon.
advances, but
yeah,
but through who
that's
have
right.
we made those advances?
That's right. We think we're infallible.
Well, we're not.
And so the answer to the question is there are things that are impossible for us to do. One of those things is to save ourselves.
Right.
We can't do that. It took God sending Jesus. And would God have sent Jesus to die on the cross if he didn't have to? Of course not. He sent Christ into this world because that was the only way. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. It took Christ on the cross dying for our sins to free us.
Right.
And then eventually to live in us so that we can live. And it was kind of a cold statement to make. I wondered how everybody would take it, but you were there. I said, you take up the smartest people that's ever lived ever in this world that have made all the inventions that we have, like us doing this today. And you got all of that. The one thing they all have in common is they all die. Man cannot live forever. In Christ, even that becomes possible. And I use examples of
when
Lazarus.
you put it in that perspective,
go ahead.
it's really powerful.
Well, I threw it out there. Everybody seemed to receive it well. But
Well, it was the truth.
this stuff about
It's the truth.
I can do anything if I put my minds to it, that's not true. We can't. Sure, we need to have a positive attitude about everything we do. But the only person in this universe that can do that, which is impossible, is God. He makes the impossible possible. So that was that sermon. And the other sermon at Green Street was one that I go way back with, and it's Calvary's love. And I'm going to do it in the Arbor at some point. So you're getting
I'll get a double dose.
You're getting a little free tidbit.
Okay.
One of the most profound things I can think of, the most profound thing that I can think of is this. The Roman cross has been considered the most evil and horrible way of execution in the history of man. I know there have been a lot of others, but the Roman cross, because outside of, I call it Calvary, where Jesus died. But outside of that, it was in a garbage dump probably. They put people on the crosses, and they kept them there like for days sometimes, so the bypassers that walked by could look at that and say, I better do what the Romans say.
Right,
you know?
right. Intimidation.
They were just, the Romans had the corner market on how you kill somebody. And so Calvary was the worst, most evil, violent, hateful place in the world. Get this. The greatest act of love in human history took place in the worst, most evil place in history when Jesus died at Calvary on the cross, and God's love battled mankind and won.
How about that?
That's pretty. I mean, the thought of that is overwhelming. So, I mean, we talked about.
That wasn't a coincidence.
No, the power of Calvary's love. It's what changed. It's why we're here today. It's why Cornerstone and all our other wonderful churches exist. Calvary's love. God loved us enough that He sent His only Son to die for us on Calvary, and He suffered and died the most brutal death you can possibly suffer, and He did it because He loved us. And you can take all the theology in the world, and Jesus summed it up. You can put it all in the two statements. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. All the law is in those two commandments.
Well, again, when you look at it from, if you want to just take a historical standpoint from it, how important that to a Christian is why we are who we are. That one event.
Amen.
The one event.
The one event.
I mean, look, the Bible's great, and all the different stories, and again, you remember growing up in Bible school as a kid and learning about certain things, but when it all comes down to, and I know we talk about, and everybody a lot of times tongue-in-cheek jokes about, hey, you got some Christians that show up twice a year, Christmas and Easter.
We talked about the Easter phenomenon.
It is, but again, if you want to just break it down, the birth of Jesus coming to this earth, and his dying on the cross,
and the resurrection,
and the resurrection, but the event of the dying on the cross. To come down to save us, and then to be risen. That's it in a nutshell. You don't have to go into all. It's great to read all the other stuff, and it all has the purpose.
Absolutely,
but
yes.
It's not just a 2-day event a year that we talk that you should. It's almost, again, you talked about communion and why do we do it? You know, there is no certain amount of time. I mean, some churches do it every week. Some every quarter or what. But you're doing that act to pay respect to what happened and did you acknowledge that this is why we are who we are?
You know what I think? And I said this in the message, our churches are just jam-packed Easter. You know how that goes.
And that's great. That's wonderful.
And we shouldn't hey, Easter. Yeah, I get that. Don't think we're not about Easter. Easter's awesome. But I think the reason Easter gets all the attendance, that's where we win.
Right.
The cross, though, is the practice field. The cross is where all the dirty work was done.
Friday it's called Good Friday for a reason.
Yeah.
But, Good Friday, everybody's still kind of in their mode. It's a work day. If people are doing things and all that, that's when the real event took place. And then like you said, everybody celebrates on that Sunday.
You can't get to the empty tomb unless you go to the cross first.
Friday.
You have to go to the cross.
Exactly right.
The first thing has to happen, we have to be forgiven.
Unless God sends His Son to be born here.
That's exactly right.
So it all
goes together.
So, but it's very good stuff, Coach. Again, we're out of time, like we always are.
Turn the time off. Let's go.
But hey, looking forward to having Cole this coming up Sunday. Make some plans, and Coach, you'll be there at Worship on the Water in Dowie. So we're looking forward to hearing. I'm looking forward to hearing. Next week we'll come back together. How that goes.
I'll tell you about the boat people and the dogs.
That's
and
right.
the cats.
How many barking dogs did you hear?
Yeah, and the meowing cats.
That's right. Not the cats that were outside the church, right? They didn't show back up.
No, they're in South Alabama right now, but they're living the life.
They're living their best life, aren't they? Not gourmet food anymore, but they're going out to hunt their own.
No, it's a little ratty right now.
No pun intended. We will end on that one. How about that?
Okay.
Again, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to our sponsors. We'll be back with you next week for another edition.
Thanks for watching.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey everybody, I'm Brett.
Billy.
And I'm Matt.
And we want you to join us each week for Inside Cornerstone. Coach, Matt, excited to have this show on every single day throughout the week leading up to Sunday.
Jesus Christ is going to be glorified in everything we do. You won't just be listening to messages. You're going to be hearing about things going on at our church.
And make sure you join us at our worship services 9 and 11 o'clock.
Join us each week right here on Inside Cornerstone on WAXC TV.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.